Byron Holland, the former chair and current vice chair of the Country Code Name Supporting Organization, or ccNSO. Byron, you were chair for 3 years. Tell us about that. Long time, one of the most senior leaders of an SO. What was that like?
You know, it was a fantastic experience. When I started, I had no sense that we would be engaged in such big projects over those few years. But between re-architecting the financial arrangements between the country codes and iKON, as well as the work around the CWG, the IANA stewardship transition, and then finally iKON accountability, you know, those projects we didn't have line of sight on when I started, and yet they're two of the biggest, most important projects this community's faced. It's been a challenge, but it's been actually a great experience.
Let's talk, you mentioned challenge. What are some of the challenges facing the ccTLD community in the future?
I mean, we have industry challenges. This is a maturing industry. There's a lot of new GTLDs. There are other platforms available from a technology perspective. So from a ccTLD operator perspective, we're seeing our markets change. Our revenues change, growth is not what it used to be a few years ago. So there's those kinds of structural changes in our industry. And then there's the changes within the iKON community in terms of what will our relationship be like with iKON now that we've re-architected the whole thing? How will the changes to IANA impact us as one of our key suppliers? We think we know, but that story is really still to be told.
Well, so in that vein, if I'm a ccTLD operator, why is it important for me to be a part of the iKON community?
I think it's absolutely critical to be part of the iKON community. If you're a ccTLD operator, iKON is where all your community comes together to discuss best practice and issues, challenges, security threats, operational issues. But IANA, fundamentally, is all of our #1 supplier. Right? They are the critical supplier to any ccTLD, regardless of if you're within the ccNSO or not. So what happens in iKON is arguably the single most important thing to any ccTLD.
What does your community, the ccTLD community, bring to the iKON community that other stakeholder groups don't?
I think we bring a lot. You know, we all, in a sense, run our own kind of iKON environment in our own national jurisdictions. We work with the technical community, we work with civil society, governments, law enforcement to create the internet environment within our own home countries. So we have a real sense of what it takes to run this kind of multi-stakeholder environment. The other thing is we're operators. We run stuff for our daily bread. So we run systems, we run security, we run registries, we work with registrars, we all have our own budgets, operating plans, strategic plans. So we bring that sense of what does it take to actually run a registry and all that's associated with it. And I think to a great degree that gives an honesty and an insight and a hard-nosed appreciation of what it takes to run the kind of organization that in a way iKON also runs.
During your 3-year tenure as chair, what was the biggest issue that you dealt with? Was it the stewardship transition or something else?
I would say the highest profile issue is without a doubt the stewardship transition. Most people are interested in that, are probably the most moving parts and challenges. But of course, the other thing that was very important to our community was the financial relationship with iKON. How do we, as the country code operators, which run our own environments separate and distinct from iKON, make a meaningful financial contribution to iKON? And setting up that construct or that arrangement was challenging inside our own community to get agreement and with iKON to get agreement. So that was a tough deal.
When people look back at your term as at the helm of the ccNSO, is that what you'll be remembered for or something else?
I would certainly like to think that I was part of maturing our community, to enabling our community to have hard discussions, tough discussions, but in a really civilized and respectful way. We can debate ideas. We can take each other to the mat on the idea, but we don't make it about the person.
Yeah.
It's ideas and issues. And then at the end, as a true multi-stakeholder environment, whatever the outcome is, we then come together and support it. And no matter how tough the discussion has been, you come together at the end of the day and have a beer and move on.
That respectful discourse is paramount.
Absolutely. It's critical to the ccNSO, and I would say it's part of the real compelling strength of the ccNSO.
That's great. Byron, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.